Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to thank all the panelists for an engaging conversation. Thank you, Bhagyashree, for moderating the Plastic Spotlight session. Welcome to the plenary session, Sustainable Packaging, Advanced Technologies and Innovations. This session will explore the advances in packaging technologies and innovations that focus on sustainability, along with all other key aspects. I would like to introduce Mr. Chakravarti, a strong advocate of packaging. Recognized and awarded as one of the most influential leaders in the segment, Mr. Chakravarti is Global Ambassador of the World Packaging Organization. He is CEO and Managing Director of EcoBliss India, an internationally known company for its packaging innovations with core strengths in pharmaceutical landscape. He is also one of the longest serving board members at the Indian Institute of Packaging and was chairman for its prestigious Golden Jubilee Committee and for Hyderabad Center as well. Winner of various national and international awards that include Ameristars and World Stars, he is now a jury member at various international competitions and award programs. He has delivered keynote addresses, chaired and mentored various conclaves and programs in packaging, food and pharma landscapes in more than 25 countries. Over to Mr. Chakravarti.
Thank you very much, Ms. Swalia. Greetings, good morning, good evening, and late evening to all my friends across the globe, very enthusiastically glued to the screens for this prestigious conference on sustainable packaging, waste and recycling of Middle East and Africa. That's the organization, of course, the Media Fusion, led by the team, Soliha, Kirtana, Gopika, all the persons. I think today they made our day to bring all of us together on this great platform discussing the need of the hour. For you, several of you may not be knowing, I'm doing the other introduction of the Media Fusion as well. They are very big in Middle East and Africa with a lot of initiatives like a Sustainable Packaging Conference, what you're talking about, Recycling Week, Waste Management Conference in Doha. I think Raw Africa, that's a big one, Recycling and Waste Management Expo, that's a big one. Of course, there are a lot of synergy sessions also in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, and Egypt. Thanks to Fusion Media for doing this great job, getting all of us across the globe onto this prestigious platform, discussing the very important sustainable packaging conference, which is the need of the hour the world is looking at. Well, at World Packaging Organization, my dear friends, which is the apex body of the packaging, comprising 64 countries as its members and also several regional federations also. We believe better quality of life through better packaging for more people. Of course, just avoiding plastics is not sustainability, as you all agree along with me. There are several sustainable initiatives. Today, the world is looking at sustainable packaging. The people, and you'll be surprised to know, a recent survey said more than 50% of the world consumers are willing to pay a little bit more for sustainable products, and that really augurs us very well to take forward the innovations today into the commercial markets. The packaging industry is really undergoing increasing environmental pressure. The demand for sustainable packaging is growing, as you all agree. Strong, it is becoming stronger by the day. The companies like all of you, also retailers and other stakeholders, every stakeholder are expected to align our approaches nowadays and our strategies with the fast sustaining goals, initiatives, and innovative technologies that impact the businesses in different ways. Today, the focus is also on circular economy models worldwide. Anyhow, not going further introduction onto this session, we have wonderful people on my Augustus panel. There are speakers from SIG, Tagli, Dow, and Boros. And to start with, I have my friend, Mr. Abdul Ghani Aladib, the President and General Manager of Middle East and Africa, SIG Combibag. And Abdul Ghani has held his position as President and General Manager, Middle East and Africa for SIG Combibloc Since 2021, prior to his current position, he was the CEO in the SIG Combi Black Obecon joint venture since he joined in 2017. But he was in Middle East, Africa, Turkey, and parts of South Asia also, represented SIG in various positions. Abdul Ghani started his career way back in '92. It's almost 30 years by now in Procter & Gamble, where he held various positions. He also holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering, a Master's in Business Administration, and also a postgraduate diploma in Strategic Management from the prestigious Jack Welch Institute in USA. I'm also looking eagerly forward to listen to you, Mr. Abdul Ghani. And before he starts his presentation, I would like to ask the audience to bear with us. Due to the paucity of the time, all the speakers need to contain their presentations within a short span of 7-8 minutes maximum. And then if you all have any questions and any information to be sought from all of us, you can always write to us, write to the organizers, so we can later on get back to you. Over to you, Mr. Abdul Ghani.
So thank you very much for this fantastic opportunity. Please tell me when my screen is up and running. Until the screen is up, I don't know if you can see my slide.
It's up already. You can make it full screen.
Very good. Make it full screen. Okay. Do you see it at the full screen now?
Well, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So I'll be quick and fast, because 8 minutes for this super important topic is definitely, I would say, quite a challenge. But I'm proud to be with this elite colleagues, as well as with people who are listening to us throughout the globe, through very, very interesting and actually setting up the stage for the future. So as said, my name is Abdul Ghani. I'm leading SIG Middle East Africa for the last five years. We're responsible here for 70 countries. We're currently present in 17 countries. And throughout the slides, I'll be sharing what SIG, which actually were really pioneers in that space, are doing in that regard. But before I start, I actually want to say, should we have been fortunate to have the COVID, or should we have not been unfortunate to have the COVID? That's actually, I've been reflecting about that. And I think God has actually sent us a clear message. God has sent us the COVID, a pandemic, which is unfortunately a devastating sickness or the disease, that actually told us actually to stop, pause, reflect, and reset onto how do we think about our environment, about how are we actually tackle our environment. And COVID have actually started showing us some kind of clear messages. Just for perspective, I think everyone around the globe have been aware in 2020, we start seeing some kind of clear skies from Beijing to Delhi. And that was really unique for these two countries. We've seen globally CO2 levels went from an emission point of view by 8%. That was a remarkable thing. So this was on a planet, a clear message from COVID, or I would say from God. A clear message from COVID, or from God, I would say, on people. We really start reconsidering how to balance between our social life and our economic life. We really start thinking about health much more than what we have been really before doing. And last, but on corporate, we've also had a clear message from COVID, we call it from God, that actually we cannot survive for long without a real economic activities and a creation of financial value. So in essence, we really need to manage our climate-related risks, strengthen our social fabrics, and inspire our economic factors to really have a more sustainable environment. We've really seen over the last years figures and changes in the atmosphere that highlighted the importance of climate change. I'll just name a few, and definitely the slides will be available for the colleagues present with us so that they can actually see more data. Just as a few, if we really continue using our resources on the earth at the same current pace before the COVID, we would have needed 7 planets just available so that we can continue using at that kind of pace. If we look at 14 years, over the last 15 years, we've really seen the warmest ever temperature. and sea surface have been the highest temperature over the past 3 decades since 1880. We've seen wastes filling really our ocean. One clear fact, which had been mentioned by a foundation of Ellen MacArthur, is really the plastics that has been thrown in the oceans by 2050 would have overweight the fish around. So clearly sustainability concerns have been really present and present as ever. And it's really clarifying an issue of our time. In every industry, now we're really under a pressure to really consider the environmental social impact, with much more demands now, as you rightly said, coming not only from the environment, but from consumers. You're absolutely right when you mentioned consumers now are willing to really look for environmental and even paying. And in response to this growing demand of consumers, we've really clearly seen some market insights reflecting this shift in consumer behaviors. So really, we start really seeing more environmental friendly products and packaging. And you can clearly see from the statistics, last year, around 25% of the stores were really present with sustainable products. And we've seen some more facts. Consumers are now more conscious than ever, clearly prioritizing brands that drive sustainability and offer transparent information to present it and prove it. In this reality, consumers are now expecting companies to do more than make a profit. They expect them to be honest about everything that they are presenting, from how materials are sourced, all the way into the products and its effect, not only on human, but also on environment. And with consumer more being conscious about their choices, brands that make sourcing and sustainable, they now need to display clear information, not only make it clear, make it accessible, easily accessible, and stand out. And this automatically put pressure back into the businesses. This will require businesses to really go into a much higher level of innovation and differentiation to really not only present that, but also how can it communicate and how it compose a product that they brand. So all of that, how does the business contribute into creating a sustainable development in response to this shifting consumer behavior? And you can clearly see 3 leading concepts, which is now govern the business relations. It's what I call it shared value, what I call it circular economy, and what I call it net positive. In shared value, you always been now, businesses now think about the management framework that helps the companies create business value by tackling social problems. In circular economy, it's based on economic system aiming and eliminating waste and really bringing the outcome or the post-consumed into back and really how can it be really reused. And finally, net positive into the way of doing business, which we put back into the environment much more than we take out of the environment. Clear 3 leading concepts that every business should consider. So in a nutshell, sustainability is an integral part of our future strategy and our future and current business model. It is inevitable for the business to, I would not call it strive, I would call it to survive. And it's key for any strategy that they really put sustainability in the core focus. And we're not talking sustainability in just the way we think about the environment. It should be a more holistic approach. It should be more of a social aspect, should be an economical aspect, should be a moral aspect, not only to the externals, but also to the employees of the company, should be ethical aspect, and it should be environmental and sustainable. And at the end of the day, you really need to look into the framework, the business leadership of that business as a global stewardship for the positive change. And in thinking of that, I'd like to bring how us, SIG, contributes in our own way, in our unique, unmatched way into presenting sustainability with our unmatched package. But before I go, let me give you a background of what we as SIG are. We're one of the world leading system suppliers. We're present for 100 years. Last year, we closed with a 2.1 billion euro revenue. We're serving more than 70 countries with 40 billion cartons and a 6,000 multinational employees. We're globally present, and you can see actually we're dividing the world into 4 clusters, one of which is Middle East Africa, that I'm proudly presenting today. And we have our own factory in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but we also have business offices across the region. But much more than business offices, we really touch our existing consumers in every single day and life. Where do we stand in terms of the supply chain or the value chain? And I would call it, we are in the core center of the value chain. I mean, as you can see, we're well positioned in the food and beverage to deliver what we call it solutions. So we start from providing filling technologies to a packaging material, to an after-sale services and unmatched digital services. So we call it a complete customized solution. So at the end of the day, we become the right carrier for our customers into the world of consumers. So that was a background of our company. So how are we really tackling the sustainability or the holistic sustainability challenge into the environment? So we as SIG, we set out to become really a net positive. And we've set that vision 3 years ago. Clearly, we're taking all our material now that comes from certified sources, or actually I would call it certified responsible sources. All our packaging solutions are currently and will be always the most sustainable on the market. I'll show you in a second how do we compare our substrate of packaging, okay, in comparison to other substrates. So it's not only what we offer as a product, but we're committed to become a really net positive. And this is what we call it our strategy of way beyond good. We do not want to be a good company, we want to be way beyond good. And we play mainly in 3 different areas. How do we leverage our natural resources? As I said, how can we be more net positive? How do we impact our climate change? And how can we really provide less impact to the environment? And finally, how do we impact people and community? People, I'm here referring to our people, my company colleagues, as well as the environment, the consumers, and the communities that we're actually serving. Just to give you a quick perspective.
Well, you need to wrap up very quickly. Sorry about
I will
that.
be super fast. I mean, I'm almost there. Our aseptic beverage carton are the most sustainable. And you can see it's actually, it has the highest share of a renewable content with the lowest carbon footprint and fully recyclable. And I'm just sharing some statistics of how do we compare to other substrate, call it HDPE, PET, or glass. And you can see with the lowest participation in terms of CO2 per 1,000. And finally, we've introduced our signature portfolio. This is an unmatched, what we call it product innovation, that is actually offered to the world of consumers that actually avail all the way down to less by 58% in what we call it our signature 100 effect of CO2. So you can see that now we're not only availing carton, we're availing fully recyclable packaging, all the way fully natural resource from the cap, carton, straw, and we've been really leading the space on that front. Not only from product and not only from environment, but we've introduced the latest technology, which we actually introduced last year in November. And I'm super happy that we've won the top futuristic technology, which is what we call it our neo technology. Just to give you a perspective, this machine will be the highest in terms of output with 20% less energy, 25% less in water, 35% less than H2O2 from a family point of view. So in conclusion, we're really here to make an impact. We're really here to make a change. We're really leading in terms of offering, and we're really taking sustainability in the way forward. And I hope
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Ghani. I'm sorry, but keeping the respect to the next speakers in our panel and also for the next panel, we have to be faster.
With
And
pleasure.
that was a wonderful presentation. 42 billion cartons, 70 countries, over 2 billion revenue. It says, the statistics says how SAZ has really captured this market
And
share.
if you allow me adding one measure, it's an unmatched offering to the world of consumers.
Unmatched, but hope that signature line definitely helps the society in a big way. And compliments to SIZ Combibok and compliments to your wonderful presentation. We'll come back to you if any queries are there later on. I'll quickly go to the next speaker from Tagleaf Industries, Mr. Shavik Shivaji. Hi, Shavik Shivaji Mitra. He's chemical engineer from Manipal Institute of Technology. He did his intern very beginning, Arabian Packaging LLC long ago. And later on, interestingly, he was in cultural and events and other organizations, very interestingly. And also last 6 years, he has been in Tagleaf Industries in technical services, my dear friend. Shavik, of course, Tagleaf is known for, I think it's packaging films, label films, technical applications, graphic arts, whatnot. But sustainability, they have a great vision. Shavik is going to explain to us what is all Tagleaf up to and what are all their innovations, technological advances from Tagleaf, and also how it is serving the society. All to you, Shavik, the young man.
Thank you, Mr. Chakrabarty. Thank you for the introduction. And
make best use of those 7 minutes because I'm going to wrap up that within 7 minutes. You need to be very, very brief, crisp and brief, explaining the salient features.
I'm sure I'll do my best. And just let me know if my screen is visible with the presentation.
Very much visible. You can make it full screen.
Second.
Slideshow and then go into that.
Yes, just 1 second.
Just click yes, that's it. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, so I hope my screen is
absolutely perfect.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Shavik. I'm a technical services officer for Tagleaf, and on behalf of Tagleaf, it is my pleasure to present to you all our latest innovations engineered to support sustainable packaging and sustainability as a whole. So let me start by giving you all a quick background of Tagleaf Industries and what makes us unique. So Tagleaf Industries is one of the world's largest manufacturers, and we primarily manufacture BOPP, which is biaxially oriented polypropylene, biaxially oriented polylactic acid, and cast polypropylene films. And it goes for a variety of applications in the packaging. There is flexible packaging, labels, industrial and graphic arts applications. We are headquartered in Dubai, and we are part of the Al Ghurair group, but we are spread across the 6 continents in the world. Now, what makes TI unique is our spirit of collaboration. We like to pioneer, and our dedication to service, and it is our culture which helps us stand out. Now, the challenges that we face today are not a small one. We definitely understand that post-consumer waste management is a very big topic, and it's a big challenge. And of all the many wastes that are part of daily waste, plastic waste is quite dominant. And we all know the integral role that plastics play in our lives, but it has gained a lot of criticism over the years when it comes to environmental damages witnessed globally. And with a fraction of it being recycled, irresponsible disposal has taken a lot of toll. It has grievously affected our lands, our seas, our oceans, and tackling this is definitely the need of the hour. And one of the ways of combating this challenge is that the world is embarking on the concept of circular economy, and it aims to recapture the value of products after consumption. And thereby we are able to implement the circular economy model rather than the linear economy. And committing to our pledge towards sustainability, we proudly introduced our dynamic cycle initiative. And it is our set of initiatives aimed to address sustainability issues within and for our stakeholders. And under the vision of dynamic cycle, as you can see, there are 4 umbrellas, which would involve commitment, solution, services, and corporate goals. So today's presentation, we shall be exploring the umbrella of solutions. And under the solutions, we would like to introduce to you the redesign approach. Now, the redesign approach is a tailor-fit service solution for our customers, in which we are able to guide, we are able to lead in the domain of traditional packaging structure transcendence or transformation into a more sustainable and more innovative solution. And that not only meets the customer specifications, the packaging requirements, but because we work very closely because of a collaborative nature with authorities and industry experts and certification bodies throughout the entire process, we try to give our best qualified sustainable solutions. So with our redesign, what you can expect is a switch from a traditional multi-material solution into a fully PP-based structure. And a completely PP-based solution is advantageous from the point of view that it exhibits a significantly higher scope of recyclability, whilst giving you an uncompromised performance in engaging the same. So we would like to showcase an array of our innovations to you all, which exhibit the following, which is excellent printing performance with high temperature resistance, ultra high barrier as a sandwich layer, high seal strength, and last but not least, a light body weight film with exceptional mechanical properties. So ladies and gentlemen, behold our innovations. So under our labels category, you will see a product which is called LMW238. Now, LMW238 is our white-voided BOPP film of 38 microns. It has a very low density of 0.55 grams per centimeter cube. And along with the advantage of the high yield that you can get out of this film, LMW2 exhibits excellent gloss and superb whiteness, giving an excellent print shade. And though lightweight, it has been mechanically balanced in a way which allows for seamless cutting on very speed wraparound labeling machines, which allows end users to meet their targeted output. And last but not least, being a polypropylene-based label and lightweight, its capability of floating on water makes it easy for separation for future steps of recycling and segregation. Now, under our technical portfolio, we proudly present 2 grades of products which fall under our Real Life brand of films. Now, the Real Life brand of films is a range of product which is made with recycled PP waste, which is either post-consumer recycled waste or post-industrial recyclable waste. D473 and D474 are 2 BOPP films available in 30 microns thickness, which are made with more than 50% of post-industrial recycled PP granulates. And it is crafted to exhibit exceptional surface and mechanical characteristics to serve the application of adhesive tapes. It is a suitable backing material for acrylic and water-based coatings. So this makes it a very viable option to switch from traditional BOPP tapes to tapes which are made with high recycled material.
Absolutely.
Now, when we dive into the domain of flexible packaging portfolio, which is by far going to be very large, but let us try to view the innovations from a point of view where we deconstruct the function executed by each layer of the flexible packaging laminate in a traditional sense. And let us try to see how each innovation may fit in. Now, as a print web, we have commonly seen BOPET of 12 microns or BOPP of various thicknesses, which are either reverse printed and laminated onto either a triplex laminate structure where there's a barrier and a sealant separately, or it's in a 2-ply structure where it's a barrier and a sealant combined. But with our TTH20, it is a transparent BOPP film with high temperature resistance. This film is able to give you the capability of high dimensional stability and controlled slip, making it an excellent choice for a print web on laminates which are going to be processed in high-speed packaging machines, as the film contributes in a wrinkle-free sealing of pouches. And at the same time, It has excellent printability characteristics.
Shavik, I need to stop you. We already took 10 minutes. I'm sorry, because
I
know very well it's very difficult because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to
No,
do
I'm
this
just about to
next.
wrap up. I'm just about to wrap up. This is my last slide. So after this, I'm done.
Yeah, you don't have any more further time, unfortunately.
So, I understand. So under the barrier layer, we have an alternative to aluminum foil, which is your TZ478 with a characteristic of 0.1 oxygen and moisture transmission rates, which is an excellent solution for triplex structures involving coffee or milk powder. You have excellent sealing layers, which are in 15 micron CPP to down gauge your structure, and a 40 micron BOPP for even single web structures because of its improved hot tack and high seal strength. And last but not least, we have the ZXB, which is a metallized BOPP film, which has a wide sealing range, excellent gas barrier properties, and modified stiffness. So we will conclude the presentation with the fact that we have the ISCC certification.
Thank you, Shavik. Thank you very much for that presentation from TI, and I request our audience to bear with us, and definitely Shavik will share with you all the presentation. And I go to the next important speaker, Virgil Mango. Ms. Virgil Mango is Technical Service and Development Engineer from Dow. Dow needs no introduction. So I also request Virgil to concentrate more on the technical things because all of us know what Dow and how big company it is. So you really need to be specific on the innovations and developments. But before that, Virgil is a Senior Technical Specialist and Development Engineer for the Packaging and Specialty Business at Daw's, responsible for South African region, and Virgil holds 2 honors degrees. It's an honor for us to have you on board, Ms. Virgil. The Chemical Engineering honors degree from University of Witwatersrand and Polymer Engineering degree from University of Pretoria. Great to have you, Ms. Virgil. And your role includes development of new sustainable packaging for both food and industrial packaging. In the spare time, you enjoy reading books and, of course, jogging and working on DIY projects. A great profile, Ms. Virgil. Of course, Daw's SDG 2025 sustainability goals also comprises delivering breakthrough innovations, valuing nature and whatnot, all the key features. We know what Dow does wonderfully. Over to you, Ms. Virgil.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Shavik,
Shavik, if you can allow me to share, if you could stop sharing so I can share my presentation.
Shavik, you need to close the window, please. Oh, you stop sharing, Shavik. We are losing time. Not just stop sharing it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Virgil, for you. I'm sorry, actually, we hardly have time for 2 speakers. Wonderful.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Very much.
Which screen am I sharing in the presentation mode?
Yeah, presentation mode, you can make it full screen.
Is it not in full screen?
Yeah, you need to have the slideshow and then click the slideshow and go to the quickly.
Who is this? Got it. Just place it. Just hold on.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm not going to go through all the drivers around design for recyclability and going through sustainability because my colleagues have touched on that, but I'll touch on the 5 pillars that Dow holds in terms of circularity. So the 5 pillars that we look at is design for recyclability, mechanical recycling, advanced recycling, bio-based feedstocks as an alternative to fossil fuel feedstocks, as well as carbon neutrality. When we think about designing of packaging, right, we need to make sure that when we design for plastic packaging, we design for the lowest, we use plastic only when it has the lowest environmental impact. Not only that, we need to consider that we should use as little as possible. This is where down gauging comes into play. Not only that as well, we also need to ensure that we design products that are economically viable for recyclability. When we think of plastic packaging is a very efficient. In terms of carbon footprint, it has the lowest carbon footprint compared to alternative packaging structures. Not only that, the cost per packaging weight is very low. And so for very little energy, you can get very efficient packaging and also ensure that you have a low carbon footprint. But packaging also has to meet 3 other alternative uses, right? Promotion, protection, and processability. For brand owner visibility, shelf appeal is very important. And so to achieve customer loyalty, you need to make sure that your packaging has a good promotion and good optical properties when displayed on packaging in stores in the packaging area. Then you consider protection. Food packaging plays a very big role with regards to food packaging and ensuring that very little food goes to waste. The third part that packaging plays is processability. And in the past, flexible packaging has been extremely efficient in doing this by combining multiple types of materials like polyester or polyamide with polyethylene in order to improve processability, shelf appeal, and protection. However, these type of recycled structures are typically not recyclable. So how do we move from multi-layered recycled structures into monomaterial structures in order for us to become more sustainable? DAO has various different technology platforms. Today, I'll be focusing on the four of the main ones. The first one is polyethylene orientation technologies. The second one is polyamide substitution in barrier films. The third looks at barrier incorporation in polyethylene in order to have high water vapor and oxygen vapor barrier. And then we'll look at barrier polymer compatibilizers for recycle-ready type of structures. Focusing on orientated films, when we consider efficient flexible packaging structures in the market today, they're largely made up of multi-layered laminate consisting of orientated polyprop or polyester laminated onto polyethylene. We want to move away from these non-recyclable structures to monomaterial type of structures. In order for us to do this, we must understand what functionalities PET and BOPP play in the packaging. They offer high stiffness and thermal resistance, making them ideal during conversion and packaging. They also have great dimensional integrity, toughness, and allowing for variety of different formats on the packaging shelves. They also tend to have great optics, and so they cover the 3 Ps that I spoke about earlier. Polyethylene, when extruded on conventional blown or cast lines, doesn't have this level of rigidity, and so we need to introduce some level of an orientation into polyethylene in order to enhance the stiffness as well as the thermal resistance of polyethylene. Doing this also helps in improving the optical properties. When we consider these technologies, we have 2 main ones. Machine-directed orientation technologies are very big in the industries. This has been around for over 15 years. And this helps us move away from multi-layered laminates, like you see in the left, in the top left, to MDO PE laminates, where we're able then to replace the BOPP or orientated PET or polyamide with all polyethylene structures that are more recyclable. We do this by blowing up a film and then orienting the film in the machine direction 8 to 9 times. This enhances the optics, the stiffness, and the thermal resistance of the overall package by introducing high density polyethylene into the structures. Luckily for us, we have 20 MDO sourcing options across the Europe, Middle East, and Africa. This is both including some in Saudi as well as some in Africa. BOPE is similar in technology. Instead of orienting only in the machine direction, then we consider orienting also in the transverse direction in order to bring about the stiffness, the thermal resistance, as well as the machinability. This helps to improve the packaging performance, gives it better optics, dimensional integrity, and toughness. These packaging lines are quite new in the market. The advantage of these packaging lines is that the line is 8.2 meters wide, and it also processes at 100 meters per minute. So you're able to get a lot out for a short space of time, obviously reducing overall production costs. We tried this, we collaborated with Bruckner, and we made a BOPE PE laminate where we were able to see if it can be packaged on a normal processing line, and we were able to reach 80 pouches per minute. This is very similar to the incumbent structure, which was a PET PE laminate. And so it shows that we can still meet recyclability targets while still maintaining the integrity of the package by promoting promotion, protection, and processability of the product. Then we look at barrier incorporation. For high barrier requirements like coffee packaging, we need to ensure that we metallize the film in order for us to be able to get that barrier in the packaging. This often happens at very high temperatures. You can see it happens at 1,400 degrees Celsius. In order for you to be able to do this, you need a very thermally stable polymer, and also you need elongation control. We're able to partner with BOPST in order to show that orientated polyethylene can be metallized at those high temperatures to achieve medium and high barrier. The third technology is replacing polyamide in structures. You'll see with the EPR schemes being introduced that eco-modulation fees will also play a role in sustainable packaging. This means that brand owners will have to pay more for material that is non-recyclable. And so we need to take our polymers that are more dissimilar in the packaging structure in order for these structures to be recyclable in a polyethylene stream. How do we go about doing that? We have designed polymers like our innate range that can replace polyamide in the structure and introduce the stiffness-toughness balance that's required in the package for deep draw while still maintaining high barrier levels by protecting the EVOH layer in the core and ensuring that we still get good product quality. This will also help brand owners in reducing their overall costs when it comes to EPR fees. Sorry. The final one I'll talk to today is barrier polymer compatibilizers. Recycle-ready structures require the entire value chain to look at finding ways of introducing compatibilizers in the recycle streams in packaging that has barrier components in it. This ensures that we move away from recycled product that will have high gels and that cannot be processed again in polyethylene packaging to something like the picture that we have at the bottom right, where we have less gels consumed because we've got a compatibilizer that allows the EVOH to evenly disperse in the polyethylene stream. This obviously then helps in the overall recycling and being able to recycle barrier films in polyolefin streams.
Bharatil, I need to make a stop here, unfortunately.
Not a problem. This is just some of the collaborations we've had with brand owners. You guys are most welcome to reach out to me if you want to find out a bit more about that. Thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you very much. Can I request you to close the window from your end? Next,
sure,
I'll go to the next speaker, Mr. Raghvendra Singh from Boro. Boros is a graduate engineer in polymer and plastics engineering from prestigious SBTA Kanpur. Later on, he did his management program in Blue Ocean Strategy in NSEED. He has a rich 18 years of experience in very well-known companies in Uflex and Reliance, and now Boro is working for the last few years. So over to you, Raghvendra. You have just 5 minutes time. We're already up. Actually, next session is waiting for us. Unfortunately, we need to conclude that. Just focus on those key developments very briefly and very crisply. Right. Thank you.
I think, yes, since I have 5 minutes only, I will be focusing on, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, very much.
Okay, I mean, I have some difficulties in sharing the presentation, but I think we don't have full time for the presentation, but I will be highlighting the solutions. I mean, Borouge is focusing always on the innovation side, and we have always work ahead of the market. So circular economy and this direction, we have really taken a big step. And now what we have done as a resin supplier, I mean, we have introduced resin, which are supporting mono ply laminates and monomaterial solution for polyethylene as well as polypropylene. And this is the main focus. So what we are trying to work with the converters, with the brand owners, and then and introducing the new products which are supporting overall circularity for polyethylene as well as polypropylene. So majority of work has been done from our team on MDO PE side, full PE side, and full PP side. And then a lot of work now we are doing on BOP side, as has been highlighted by other speakers as well. So these are the main focus areas. And you know that it is not easy to make the change from PET to PE or PP easily. I mean, there we are working on particular performance properties that what can be possible by the resin, as well as what can be done by the process technology. So a lot of things are happening in the market with the machine suppliers like Raffenhauser brand and Windmuller. We're working with on the MDO side and the stretching mono side and stretching on a biaxial side to make polyethylene at least closer to PET. And that's what I think converters are looking for. That's what brand owners are looking for, that do we have right resin in the industry? Do we have right technology in the industry available which can replace the complex laminate PETP, which what we are trying to work. And then we have also done with our PP technology, where we are also doing the advancement in the overall resin technology, where what we are trying to do, we are trying to introduce the over-engineered resin to the market, so that when our converters start adding the recyclate into it, they are performing in the market. This is very, very important. And how we are trying to do this with the Borstar technology, what we have, a very unique technology. We have multi-reactor where we can cook more compared to the other players. And there we are very close to our customers by understanding their requirements and designing the product in such a way that they outperform in the market. And then when the customers are adding recyclate to it, they are still maintaining the performance criteria of the market. So this is also we are trying to do. In this category, I think recently in November, we have launched few products in terms two random products for premium houseware, one for thin wall packaging, one for hinge caps, and one for the bottles as well. So we are quite balanced in rigid packaging side. We are quite balanced on flexible packaging side. We are addressing both sides in terms of resin and in terms of the challenging application which are available in the market. And that's what I think a lot of our innovation team is working with the converters and the brand owners, understanding the requirement and then transforming into the right application development. So this is what I think overall, in nutshell, we are working on circularity. And also now I think we are also working quite deeply on a new application development, which can take more of recycled content. For example, I mean, the plastic pallet, these kind of application, which what we have to really see that they can take more recycled content. Blow molding application. There are other collation shrink secondary packaging application, which can take the PCR content, and then they can also perform as per the brand owner requirement. And that there, I think a resin player, it's very important that we collaborate together with the brands and the converters, and then come up with a solution so that we can really enable solution for tomorrow working together. And that's what I think our team is working. Yeah, yes, okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Raghavendra. In fact, it is very unfair on my part to make you conclude so quickly, right from SIG to Borouge. I know Borouge is a leading provider in innovative and differentiated polyolefin solutions, doing a great job in Abu Dhabi and from there worldwide. Of course, sustainability, coming to the sustainability, Borouge is really committed to the principles of sustainability, and it's a signatory of chemical industry's responsible care. You have a great initiatives. Also, you have initiatives to address the world's water and sanitation challenges also through Water for the World initiative. I think Borouge is doing a great job out there. Unfortunately, we have to really conclude. Thank you very much for the wonderful speakers, right from SIG, Mr. Abdul Ghani, and Varatil, and Raghavendra and Shovik. From all of you. Definitely would love to take more questions and all, but we'll take them offline. And also we seriously look forward to have a physical presence. Saliha promised that very soon, if not in 1 year, in few months, we might be having a physical conference in UAE. Look forward to meet all of you over there and connect with the world. A big thanks to all of you. And with this, I conclude this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks.